Right, let's recap January 2025. So, a volatile month to say the least, and it looks like the next month will be the same, if not more. So, we're going to break down the dividend portfolio brick by brick. So, two of the main questions for the year are SCHD versus JEPQ and DIVB versus CGDV. So we'll look at those year to date. Then we'll look at January income. So dividends, premium, and interest, and how much did each bucket earn. So close of the month, we have SPACs is still about a little under half the account. It's down year to date, but again, SPACs, which is Fidelity's money market account, cash account, that's being used to buy DIVB and CGDV. So it's expected to be down, each week. Keynote here is that even though we've put about $400 into DIVB and CGDV each, you see that's only down about 300. That's because one, there was a interest payout at the end of the month, and the bigger reason is from option premium. So again, part of the plan for this year is to use SPACs to sell puts selectively on certain stocks and ETFs. So that's why SPACs is down about 300 and not down 800, because we're spending money, but we're also earning money through option selling for the money market account. If we then look at SCHD versus JEPQ, it's very close. JEPQ does have the slight edge in terms of year-to-date performance. There's 1.95 versus 1.87. JEPQ did have a dividend at the beginning of the month, and it should be having one at the beginning of February as well. So that'll give it a little boost. FNILX, the Fidelity's kind of zero fee large cap, actually doing the best at about 3% year to date. And then our kind of two smaller pure stock plays, Apple and Microsoft, are actually doing, you can see they're actually doing the worst. So, I think I mentioned before, one of the weekly recaps, Apple had kind of a great run up to 260, kind of coming back to earth a bit. So my overall cost for Apple is still up a lot in my portfolio. Then my cost basis is a little under 180, but you can see, year to date, it is down quite a bit. And then Microsoft, so earnings did not help. It was doing pretty well. Even just 3 days ago, it was up about 6% year to date. So that kind of just again shows you the volatility that we're in. It can go from up 6% to down 2% in just a few days. Moving on to the new ETFs, I don't have year to date here because they were not in the account on January 1st, but year to date, CGDV is up about 2.64%, and DIVB is up 2.59%. So again, very close, as you can kind of see in the current value. just kind of off by a few cents. But again, month one, great to see that there is growth so far for these two ETFs. So they're kind of again neck and neck now, but we expect over the next few months there might start to be some separation, especially when the dividends are paid out in March. Okay. So overall account, and also to kind of double back to the NVIDIA put. So I am including the put value in the overall account value. So again, NVIDIA has been down sliding, after it was kind of volatile before the DeepSeek news, and after that it's been pretty volatile on a downswing. So we'll just play it over the next couple of weeks. The expiration for that put is uh, February 14th, so a couple weeks left. The strike price is 115. So if it were if I were to be assigned that put, which would mean that I would take on 100 shares. If the price is about in kind of the 110 to 115 range, I would not be mad about that, especially with earnings coming up. I could then again flip that into a covered call and kind of start the second half of the wheel. But again, there's 10 days left, plenty of time, plenty of volatility. So we'll just kind of see how that goes, and I'll probably do kind of a week 5, week 6 update on what I am thinking for that. All being said, the account for the month, again including the put value, is up about 1%, which translates into about $434. So that's the account. That is the account balance for the end of January. So I think overall good month. I mean, every month that's green is a good month in my book. So that is the overall account, and then now we're gonna look at January income. So we're going to look at the dividends, option premium, and the interest. What did we earn? Starting at the top, so JEPQ. Again, JEPQ went ex-div on December 31st. So we're paid at the beginning of the month, $54.40. And this is kind of a key number because it means that we are almost at the point where dividend payout can pay for a whole share. Okay? So again, even though we're not putting any new money into JEPQ this year, if the yield stays about the same, we'll pick up about 11 to 12 additional shares this year. And actually, there should be another dividend payout this week, so I'll cover that. I'll cover that in the week 5 recap. Okay. Again, one notice that again I mentioned before, if the yield stays the same, so yields can go up or down, and if it's a kind of turning into a volatile market, that could be good for yields. If it's more bearish, it could be bad for yields. So we just don't know at this point, right? So we'll just kind of see how February goes and kind of just watch from there. Okay, SPACs is paid at the end of the month, so we made about $70 off of interest. I'm not sure what the rate is right now. Probably somewhere a little bit above 4%. But if you kind of just Google, SPACs yield, SPACs interest, the current interest will pop up. Okay, so a little bit more than JEPQ, but remember that JEPQ is about the total value is about a little under $7,000, whereas SPACs is above 20,000. So different actual value amounts, but that's what they will yield. And of course, you would expect JEPQ to yield more than SPACs. You're paying for that additional risk. You're paying for that. You're taking the risk to have that higher yield value, along with hopefully price appreciation on the actual ETF. Okay. Then clearly the kind of the biggest chunk was options at about a little over $420. I Even with continued market volatility, I would not expect this amount every month. For January specifically, we had an option at the beginning of the month, and then we sold another one at the end of the month. But again, that one is carrying over into the middle of February. So I would figure at most there will be one option sold in February. For how much? I mean, who knows? But I would not expect that to continue. But that being said, 420 is way above my kind of soft goal of $1 to $200 a month. So that's a pretty good amount. And of course, as I just mentioned, it's not, it's definitely not a free lunch. You're paying for that. You're getting paid for that risk, right? So what does that mean? So I got paid so far 420 on the two Nvidia puts. One expired, one is still active. If the active put were to say, let's say Nvidia drops to 100, and I get, or just for, I guess, for cleaner numbers, let's say it drops to 95. Okay, so February 14th, it closes at $95. I'm then assigned 100 shares of Nvidia at $95. However, the strike price was 115, so I would be paying 11,500 for the Nvidia shares, but they would only be worth at that time 9,500. Okay, so let's do the math here for you. So that means that at that point in time, I would actually be down $2,000. Okay, so I made this premium for January, but I would have to, but the value of the shares would be $2,000 less than what I paid for them. So I would actually be down about $1,600 on the shares. Then I have to kind of work my way back up. So some people view option selling as kind of easier, less risky than option buying, but you can please don't be fooled. You can lose a lot of money selling options, especially in a volatile market. Again, it's risk and reward. You're being paid to take on that risk. That's how I view it. I'm not a options expert. This is not financial advice, but I see that you're getting paid to take on that risk, and so you have to always keep that in mind, especially when your stock, your ETF can make big moves, and there's this overall national and global kind of economic say turmoil going on. So that's the income for January. So again, that wraps up month number one. Overall, I would say it's a pretty solid month, and we will see what February brings. So on to the next. Hope everyone has a great investing month.